I'm going to do Sober October and see how that goes. And mentally, right in the back of my mind, it's like, okay, when Sober October is done, I could drink if I wanted to. I'm not saying I'm
Exactly.
gonna, but if I wanted to, I could. Well, for addicts, like we don't. All we need is a go ahead from
Give
from
an
any
inch will take a
source.
mile.
This is Rock Bottom with Ryan. No sugarcoating, no filters. The pain, the chaos, the truth. No bullshit. Just recovery.
Hey everybody, thank you for watching another episode of Rock Bottom with Ryan. And this episode is brought to you by Sober Strong Apparel. Sober Strong Apparel isn't just lifestyle wear, it's battle gear. Heavyweight tees, hoodies, and gear for the ones who draw a hard line. Clean, sober, no compromise. We rep sobriety like a badge of honor. And every piece you throw on says you're a part of the crew that doesn't back down. Every order fuels recovery with 10% donated to treatment facilities because we don't just talk about it, we stand on it. And use the code ROCKBOTTOM at checkout for 10% off. Really love what this company represents. It's huge on recovery. Really love the apparel itself. It looks amazing. So check it out, soberstrongapparel.com. Thanks for watching. Enjoy this episode.
All right, welcome to another episode of Rock Bottom with Ryan. I'm here with my co-host Rachel, and our guest today is Chris Cohen with Sober Strong Apparel. Excited to have him on here.
Yes.
Chris, how you doing? Want to introduce yourself, where you're from, what you do?
So happy to be on this show, and thank you so much for inviting me on. It's awesome.
Of course. Great
Well,
to
you're
have
doing
you
it
on.
awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and I couldn't do it without the
Yeah.
support of everybody on our Instagram. Is really our home base, if you will, and the support
Yeah.
has been wild. It's been an awesome journey. So, yeah, but where do we begin? Western New Yorker, 34 years old now. Gosh, time really flies. I never thought I would leave my 20s. I'll be honest. I don't know if
could
anybody
agree.
else gets
Yeah, me
that.
too.
I can agree. I'm surprised. I can't believe I'm 38.
I'm shooketh. Yeah, I'm
It's
shooketh.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's totally
We all
crazy.
shouldn't be here right now, but here we are.
Yeah, how about that, man? Many a times I thought I was going out with a heart attack for sure. But nevertheless, we'll
Yeah.
get to that. Yeah, I grew up on the west side of Rochester, New York, and that's where we're based out of, which is Western New York, near Buffalo. Go Bills, near Canada, if you will. And I guess I probably had a middle class upbringing, a lower middle class upbringing. My family had problems like many do, but there was certainly people that had a harder upbringing than I did. There's no doubt. I think most people can probably say that to some degree. But I think what the most damaging part of my upbringing was probably the lack of communication. And what I mean by that is my parents hid everything from us kids. And when it all fell apart, it was a way bigger impact, I think, than that notion of like, you can see it coming.
Yeah.
So let me elaborate on that a little bit, I guess. By the time I was like 13 years old, I was pretty heavily invested in sports. So I was playing hockey at the time. And
Okay.
a few years later, what's that?
I said, okay, yeah, because I'm from up north, so I get it. So hockey's big up there.
Yeah, right. So by the time I hit 15, I had an opportunity to leave um, and play out of state. And I went to Detroit and played out there, and I hopped around a few different states, and I was playing. Oh, at that same time when I got out of the house, parents had divorced, which was unbeknownst to me.
Right.
and some of the huge problems started leaking out, right? My father had a lot of issues and he was kicked out and he was homeless or he was in and out of places. So this kind of unraveled the first time I came home and my mom's new boyfriend was like, that was the introduction. And I was like, wait a minute, you know, what happened? Where's all the backstory to this crazy thing. Now my stepfather's still around. He's unbelievable, awesome person. But it was just like it was very shocking as far as somebody who thought everything was okay and then, it's like, all right, you're old enough now. Here's what the truth is. And that really took me off my feet. So I was trying to handle myself out of state on my own. And at the same time, now I'm trying to take care of my father because I still don't understand the gravity of this situation.
Yeah.
All I know is that he's out of the house and I'm trying to be a
And he was,
caretaker, if you will. Right.
and
So that's a
he
lot of
might have been an
stress.
addict, and you didn't kind of know that at the time.
Well, right, there was a lot of issues, and there's a lot of truths that never got told to this day.
Right.
But right, I'm finding all this stuff out. Yeah, and it was a lot of pressure, and up until this point, I really hadn't experimented too much. I mean, we would steal cigarettes and, stuff, go out in the woods, get loose tobacco, whatever, smoke, stuff like that, but no real hard drinking or drugs yet to this point.
And you were
So
15?
things are unraveling, and I think I talked to this on the Hopeaholics podcast, and I'm still new at sharing publicly my story. So I suppose if someone were to match up the short list of podcasts I've been on, and it could be a little confusing, but I'll try to keep
Oh yeah,
aligning them.
No, you're
So at
fine.
this time I come
our timelines get a little messed up sometimes telling our stories.
right. So I come back and so all this trouble is unraveling, right? And everyone's kind of going their separate ways, right? My mother, my sister, I'm already out, my father's out. I'm trying to pick up the pieces of what I think is, falling apart, but had been falling apart really for years and years. I just didn't know it, not really. And I also come back and see my friends, right? I've been on the straight and narrow walking a really
Yeah.
fine line, and all my friends are here when I come home to visit, partying, having a good time, drinking, doing whatever. And I'm like, damn, that seems like way more fun than what I'm doing. And also, I'm under a tremendous amount of stress at
Yeah.
15, 16,
Yeah,
trying to
you were.
figure out my father's problems.
You had to grow up
Yeah,
fast. It sounds like.
and take care of myself. So, not to bore you with the
You're not.
entry, but basically, I appreciate that. But so basically, right, we start drinking and experimenting and hopping the back fence at bars, and we're 16 years old now. Partying is a great stress reliever at that time, and getting
Yeah.
fucked up was awesome, right? I'm learning like if I do this, if I drink this whiskey, if I do, if I snort this up my nose, like if I pop this pill, I feel way better than being sober now, call sober. I wasn't really aware of addiction at that time, like in the sense of I'm aware of it now. So yeah, I have a very addictive personality that I came to learn, and
Yeah.
that that was the start of it. It was like, how do we get more of this and do it as much as we can do it? And not too many people bat an eye, right? Because you're younger, and it's more normalized probably than it should be. It's just kids being kids.
Yeah.
All the while, you're developing habits at a critical time in your life and your maturity, right?
Yeah.
So I get back to New York from Chicago when I'm 18 and I move into the city. And I move in to a split house with a few friends of mine, and the next door, the person that has the other side of the house is dealing cocaine and crack and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that I got introduced to cocaine basically. Prior to that, there was experimentation. I mean, we would try to cut painkillers or Xanax or whatever we could, but I wasn't really, really introduced to cocaine until then. And once I got a lick of it, it was off to the races from there.
Right. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, did it? No, not at all. I like to sit back and listen sometimes, especially with
Yeah.
somebody we haven't talked to much. And so it kind of did it progress into like when you were into your 20s, it became kind of full time cocaine and drinking mixed, or was it one or the other most of the time? How did that correlate?
Yeah. So it was whenever we could get our hands on it,
Yeah.
that or Molly at one point, later on, years later, meth, because all that stuff tends to hang out together, if you will. It's like, I don't have
Yep.
this, but I
Yeah.
have this.
Yeah.
Right. So, um, yeah, in my early 20s, it was all good. We're partying as much as we can, drinking, drugging. Um, then my career starts to advance because all this partying has not negatively affected me really yet. Of
What type
course,
of
it
work were you
now,
doing in the midst of this?
yeah. So in hindsight, it was damaging, obviously, but at the time, I didn't think so. So I went to school to learn how to weld, and
Okay.
I ended up in the natural gas pipeline industry, which is a great place if you're either you can either handle it and stay away from the evil of it, which is the drugs and drinking and bars and casinos and whatever, right? Because you're out making good money and you have nothing to do. Yeah, so that industry is very friendly to addiction addicts, that lifestyle, that fast and hard lifestyle. Um, and it's a powerful industry because there's a lot of money involved, not just for the worker, but I mean for the corporations, right? And the people
Yeah.
that own all this stuff. They're highly motivated to get the jobs done. They don't really care about how and who's doing it as long as it's done right. I don't want to knock the whole industry. There's good people,
True.
and most people have to be highly talented to be out there. But I think deep down, it's hard to argue. It would be hard to argue that that industry does not. They do promote and make it easy to use drugs, drink, and there's not any repercussion really. I mean, so that played right into what I was already doing. That was great.
So you could party hard, and a lot of the people you worked with probably had the same lifestyles and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
And you
Mhm.
can go to work hungover, and nobody's judging you, and you can use
You could
during
go
work,
to
and nobody's
work.
judging you.
Yeah, you could go to work fucked up or be doing drugs and drinking on the job. It's not like you were at a barbecue, of course, but if you were sipping a
Yeah.
fifth of whiskey in the truck or snorting a line or popping some pills, like nobody's gonna think twice about it, right? As long as you
Right.
can go out
Exactly.
there and function to some degree. And
Is it
Just
that and
get
like
the
that
pretty
job
level,
dangerous
done.
work too?
yeah, it's super dangerous. People lose their lives out there all the time. And
Sure.
I'm out of the industry. I chose to leave it because it was damaging to me and I couldn't get sober and stay in it. So if I was still in it, there's no way I would be talking about it in any negative light at all. But that's just really the truth. I mean, anybody that's ever been on the road doing transmission lines or anything, any big projects, they fucking know what's up. You know what I mean? whether they admit it or not. So I had to get out of there, and I did. When I after 10 years of doing work professionally, by the end of that, I had to get out of there. I sold all my stuff in one night. My truck, my welding machine, all my tools, everything went. I was disgusted by it, and it had to go. But there
Mhm.
was a lot of things at the time that I was disgusted with, you know what I mean? Yeah, so I did that as a profession for quite a while, with my drinking and drug use, and it afforded me the ability to fund it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The money was
Yeah.
good, way better than your average job, and it was easy to spend it and make it back. So the drugs and alcohol were on full.
Yeah. And how long was
So
that going on for you?
what's that?
How long was that going on for you? How many years?
Yeah, so I got sober 2/1/23, February 1st of 23. So from then back to 18 years old was either building an addiction or inactive addiction, right?
Did you
And
have like
then
periods of sobriety or rehabilitation or anything in
sure,
between?
yeah, I tried. Yeah, I tried several times like a lot of people and
Yeah.
failed because I gave something I learned in therapy. Now, all this is after the fact, of course, but
Uh-huh.
I always gave myself permission, right? Like, okay, I'll stop doing drugs, but I'll just drink and I'll only drink at this time on these days, and I'll
Yeah.
try that. That will
I
that will
tried
give
that
me more
before.
control,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I
Hmm.
did that all the time. Just tried to
Me
manage
too.
it. I'll switch to wine. I'll
Tried.
switch to just beer on Tuesdays and
Right.
Thursdays.
Yeah.
So
Then I turned into a
Yeah,
never
wine
sure.
works.
lover. So yeah, that didn't work out.
We're just
Yeah.
blind to ourselves. Just a bunch of bullshit.
Right. Yeah, oh sure, you switch to wine. You try to convince yourself of everything that you can to not stop,
Yeah.
but say like I'm in control and I have this. And it's all a big lie, right, to yourself. So I would constantly give myself permission even when I stop something mentally, and I think people can probably relate to this. It kind of shines a spotlight on a part that's not glamorous. I don't think people will necessarily like to admit it, but it's like I'll stop doing cocaine. I'll stop buying cocaine and doing that, but I'll still drink, and that'll be
Yeah.
okay. Or
Yeah.
it's like, okay, I'll be sober for 30 days. I'm gonna do sober October and see how that goes. And mentally, right in the back of my mind, it's like, okay, when Sober October is done, I could drink if I wanted to. I'm not saying I'm
Exactly.
gonna, but if I wanted to, I could. Well, for for addicts, like we don't all we need is a go ahead from
Give an
any
inch, we'll take a
source.
mile.
Yeah.
So it's you don't make it 30 days, like you'll work yourself up to where you're sitting at that moment somehow, right? It's like I gave myself permission in 30 days, I could if I want. And then, by 2 days later, you're blacking out at the bar and you're all fucked up and you're getting
Exactly.
arrested, getting in a fight, whatever,
Yeah,
because
that
that's
was my
that's an addict.
my longest period of sobriety before this recent time. Well, I did a 90-day one time, like about a year and a half ago. But before that, in my heaviest of addictions, 30 days was the only time I gave myself 1 month. And on day 30, I went out and I was just back full force.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Mine was pregnancy, so that's it.
That's what the shut it off for you.
Yeah.
No. Nope.
Yep.
Had him and then I went right back to drinking.
Cheers.
Yeah. For
Yeah.
10
So
more
that's a
years.
that's a yeah, it's a dangerous game. So there's people now that I talk. I'm not a sober coach. I'm not a coach of anything. I could coach you how to like do drugs and get fucked up, but I can't, I can only speak to my experience. I like to preface that, like I'm not a
Yeah.
sober coach. I'm not trying
Yeah.
to be ever, but I am open to talking about recovery and addiction, the little I know. So I know people who are trying to get um that I grew up with, right, in the same lifestyle that are now trying to in their late 30s or 40s or whatever, trying to turn it around. And they're doing the same thing that we all do, right? Walking, like you have to walk that gauntlet of, yeah, I have it under control. It's not the drinking's not the problem, it's the drugs. So, I stopped that and but
Yeah.
I can still handle the drinking. It's like, I
Yeah.
guess the point is, me, it was everything has to stop because I think, and I didn't go through the entire AA program, but I think there's a part in AA, right, where it's like acceptance of what you can control and what you can't. And the
Yes.
truth is, when you're trying to recover, it's like enough of the bullshit. Stop drinking, stop doing drugs, stop poisoning yourself, and your life will, in return, get better over time. But as
Yep.
addicts, we can't fucking handle it. That's just the way it is.
We don't want to face real life.
No,
Right.
no, I did not personally. So yeah. No, you got to own up to your own shit.
Yeah.
What was the moment that where you kind of decided, hey, that last 24 hours where you're like, I'm going to flip a switch and change my life for the better? Like, what happened there?
So towards the end here, it was like a daily event, right? I could not go a day without liquor, whiskey. I had to have it because I was self-medicating with it, right? Like
Yeah.
most of us
Like you
are.
needed it, physically needed it?
And a lot of times it's not, I can only speak to my case, I guess. My case was that I wasn't addicted to drugs and alcohol. I was addicted to that being my medication.
Yeah.
So I thought I had a love affair with drugs and alcohol, but when I finally stopped and figured out that I was self-medicating because I had no concept of that at the time, then it made a lot more sense to me and I could seek out the proper medical care, if you will, right? To start helping me be successful in recovery. So towards the end, I'm dumping brand new bottles of whiskey down the drain. I'm mentally and then going to the liquor store and buying one at the same time, right? Subconsciously trying to stop. I mean, I would dump a bottle to try not to drink it after I'm already fucked up at this point.
Yeah.
Dump it down the drain and then go to the liquor store and buy another one
Keep
because I
pouring it
had to
out,
have
telling
it.
yourself that was my last drink. That was my last drink. I did that
Right.
so many times.
And I'll cry while
Too
I'm
many
Yeah.
dumping it
times.
too.
And I'm mentally broke at this point. My depression is I'm becoming homicidal. I have my emotions are and anger is completely unchecked at this point. Um, I'm wildly depressed. I'm sick every morning. I'm sick physically.
Are you like
Um,
puking every morning and then trying to get some
yeah,
drinks down? Yeah.
for sure. Yeah. Oh yeah. Very sick in the mornings.
Was
Yeah.
And
hell.
yeah. And I could tell the damage of the poison, right, that I've put in my body to this point. And it's taking I'm aware that there's a real problem now. I can't stop yet, but I'm hurt bad, right? Mentally and
Yeah.
physically.
Yeah. I get
What was that, Rachel? I lost you, I think.
No, I get it. I totally understand.
Yeah. Yeah. So something just clicked. I mean, there was a number of really of nights and mornings, right, that had led up to this point where I'm desperately trying to stop. I'm reaching out to, and I know that there's other people that can relate to this. Like when I'm fucked up or at the end of that, whatever it is, 24 hours of getting fucked up, I'm starting to like reach out and email like therapists or recovery people or just anybody who would listen to help. And then in the morning or whenever you sober up, generally that is in the morning, I suppose. Whenever you sober up, you're like, oh, fuck, like, why did I reach out
Yeah.
to that person or why did I say that? And it's like, you did that because you're desperately trying to to fix this and make the pain stop, but
Yes.
you're embarrassed, you're ashamed, you're confused, and that could go on for some time. And I think other people could probably relate to that. But that's what I
Oh
did,
yeah.
certainly towards the end.
So
I you too, Rachel?
yeah, I have a whole story about that actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I reached out to a group of friends and they threw it in my face, actually. So it's a cry for help. It's for sure a cry for help, but I wasn't fully ready.
right. Yeah. So I decide, that this is it. Like enough is enough, and I gotta really make a commitment to try to be done completely. So I do stop, right? Cold turkey. I have withdrawal depression, like the worst I've ever experienced. Truly the depths of hell. I don't know how to other explain it, but like if you can't find happiness anywhere you look. It doesn't matter. That
Yeah.
dopamine receptor in your
The
brain
whole
is fucking gone.
the whole world just feels like literally and figuratively dark. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's hell, right? So I'm in and out of the hospital. My panic, anxiety, like heart, thinking you're having a heart attack, just through the
Yeah.
roof. I didn't understand what was happening. I didn't know of treatment or like where to reach out, who to reach out to. I had no idea, right? Because it's all new.
Yeah.
I get it there. Well, I guess let me backtrack a little bit. When you go to the hospital, at least in my scenarios, because I'm in an age range and I'm a male, if you think you're having a heart attack and you go to the hospital, they're going to treat you like maybe you did have a heart attack. So every time I was there, I should have been checked in to a rehab. Instead,
Yeah.
they're just treating the emergency or the emergency they think that's happening, which is potentially you're having a heart attack. And then once they determine you're not, then you're discharged and you're out of there. No one really was like, hey, were uh you were in active addiction, and could be what's going on here. Well, I went to the hospital a number of times during the first 6 months of my sobriety. I end up going to a cardiologist appointment, and that doctor there is the one that thankfully called the mobile crisis unit, which we have here in Western New York. It's a mental health crisis program that where if somebody's in crisis, they'll come out to you and
Okay.
help, right? So I had a massive episode in the cardiologist's office and it took everyone by surprise, I think,
Uh-huh.
to the degree seriousness it was. So she called the crisis unit and that got me in touch with immediately with psychiatric help. And from there I started to get the help that I actually needed to be successful in recovery. So that's a really drawn out version of like how I got going in the first 6 months, right? kind of in the right
Uh-huh.
direction.
Yeah.
So next is a car accident and Sober Strong, if you want to go there. But if you have any
Now I want to
questions,
hear
like,
all about how the idea of Sober Strong came up and how far into your sobriety and like what
Yep.
triggered it and how did you catalyze the whole thing? Because I love the brand and I'm repping it as much as I can every
Oh
day.
yeah.
So I want to know about it.
I'm for it. I'm for it.
And
yeah, and I
we're
can't
proud that
thank you
you
both
are
enough.
sponsoring us. So we're very proud to have you
Yeah,
as a
thank you
sponsor.
for that.
And no thanks needed. It's truly my pleasure. This is a great platform. So I am in the first 6 months of sobriety and getting clean. And then I'm in a car accident. It was late at night and a driver hit me at a stoplight. Didn't stop. And it wasn't a fender bender. This person totaled my car. So I roll off
Mm-hmm.
to the side of the road. I'm still in drive, and this person rolls in behind me. Now, I lost my phone during the accident. It actually ended up getting pinned underneath the emergency brake.
Uh-huh.
This woman gets out with her child, a young child, maybe 8 or 10 years old, and I say, "Hey, can you call an ambulance? You know, I lost my phone, like, I think I'm injured and I'd like to be checked out at least." Now,
Yeah.
mind you, I'm just this is the very start of my medication. So just the fact that I was in an accident to begin with was already causing a mental panic
Yeah.
while I'm trying to determine the level of how injured I am.
Yeah.
So I say, "Can you call an ambulance? Because I want to get checked out." And she didn't want to call, which I thought was insane at the time, but everything's happening quickly, right? So I insisted that she did call. In so many words was like, "You better fucking call right now,"
Yeah.
because it wasn't a polite way, but I was also taken back by the fact that it's like, you just totaled my car and I'm
Yeah. Like,
asking you to call for help for me,
hmm,
and
get me
you're
fucking help.
refusing to do it. And I was like, if I could get out of the car right now and grab you, I would. It's like, that's insane.
Yeah, fucking bitch.
That's not humane at all. Well, so her daughter is standing next to her during this whole transaction, and she's crying. And so this lady goes, "All right, I'll call. My daughter needs an ambulance, I think. So I'm going to call for her and, I'll call." Said, "Okay, great. Thank you." So she's in behind me. I can't see the vehicle. It's completely dark. Headlights are,
Yeah.
you know, in my mirror. And she gets in and she slams it in reverse, peels back out onto the main road, and she's gone.
Shit.
So I was like, what the
Jesus.
fuck?
Yeah.
So now I start looking for my phone, which I find, and I call for help myself. And obviously I call the police or just
Yeah.
911. And I'm like, "Yeah, this is what happened. This is my best description. She just fled the scene, but I do need an ambulance, to at least
Yeah.
be checked out." So fire came, they got my car towed away, and I went to the hospital, so on and so forth, and they never caught her. So the police
Mhm.
assumed that she may have been under the influence, and in New York State and maybe many other states, I'm not aware, but at least in New York, there's a law where, and I don't know the exact details of the law, but basically, if you're under the influence with a minor in the vehicle, you're in a lot of fucking trouble, big trouble, right off the
Yeah.
bat.
Not to
Yeah.
mention losing your kid.
Yeah.
So
No
they
effect.
right, they probably figured she was under the influence, and that's why she fled, because she was about to be in handcuffs, probably. Where if she was sober or something of that nature, it would have been an accident, but she would have been free to leave on her own accord, right? So
Right.
the result of that accident was I had spinal fusion surgery. So during that whole time in recovery, Sober Strong was birthed, if you will. And
Uh-huh.
so
Did it
what do you
did it kind of
go ahead?
come from like did it kind of come from like your being sober, for a period of time and then having to overcome injuries and have the willpower to stay sober? Was that kind of an inspiring thought?
Yeah. I mean, so truly I knew I wanted to give back. I like giving in its nature in itself. My mother was a giver. She still is. As I got older, I enjoyed if I could create something or do something or give someone something that made them happy, that made me happy. So I operate at such a red line like a lot of us do, like
Hmm.
very high anxiety, sobriety. If everyone is good around me, I'm good. Like I can bury my own problems,
Right.
but it's hard for me to deal with if everybody around me is struggling or anyone around me is or unhappy for any reason. It has a way bigger effect on me. So
Yeah.
I enjoy doing things or giving things that make people happy, feel good, feel content, so on and so forth. So I knew I wanted to give back some way. And I like the idea of apparel. I like, which is it's a very simple reason, if you will, but it's like I've talked to this before. In my line of work, it's like I wore the same thing day in and day out, literally sometimes. And in early sobriety, I started like buying sneakers. Like I never owned a pair of sneakers. I only owned a pair of boots, and that's what I wore because I worked 6 or 7 days a week for a number of years.
Yeah, so
But
just
I started
same
buying
shit on repeat every day.
yeah,
Yeah.
button down, jeans, boots, button down jeans, boots in different colors, right?
Yeah.
Even summer, winter, it didn't matter.
Yeah, well, I'm a
So
sneakerhead, as you can tell, so I'm all about the shoes.
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. So I'm not a sneakerhead by passion, but I found a lot of joy in that in early recovery and in being able to put on clean clothes and staying clean. And I started buying sneakers and just so I'm looking at apparel and like more than maybe a normal person would be at this time. I'm getting it in the feed. It's the algorithm is pushing all this stuff. And then I started to
Yeah.
see sober apparel, which it never even crossed my mind.
Yeah.
So I'm like, shit, this is awesome sober apparel. Like
Yeah. It
I'm
is.
behind this 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And I started looking for it after seeing one company and I had figured to myself, like, there's got to be 1,000 companies because there's 100,000 regular apparel companies between big box store and your streetwear, right?
Right.
I figured this has got to be this part of apparel's got to be the same way. And it wasn't really, not comparatively, and it still isn't.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a lot of time and I'm like, I like this idea. So let me try to get like a proof of concept, try to create a design, and then I'll just go to a local print shop and have them print it on a tee or a hoodie or whatever, and I'll wear it around. And if people like it, I kept a box of it in my trunk. And if people like it, I'll just give them away, which is what I
That's
did.
cool.
So I'm teaching myself how to, and I'm not a designer still to this day, but I'm teaching myself through YouTube videos, like basic design on basic design platform. And I'm
Yeah.
trying to teach myself like what the market is like in apparel and how people go about that at a very basic level. the more I did, the more I got into it, and then it was kind of a snowball effect. I'm like, well, if I'm gonna make clothing and put my name behind it, I want it to be good. So those
Yeah.
first tees were like, I'm not gonna I won't throw out like tee names so that other companies, that may be making on those, I don't want to put anyone's stuff down. But I was making it on clothing that I didn't think was of enough quality. So I'm like, okay, the quality's got to be better, the printing's got to be better. And you start doing research and you're like, okay, well, there's something called, order minimums. And it's like, all right, well, if I have to order so many, then I'm gonna do these colors and this print. And then by the time I knew it, I had over 30 designs, 30 products. And
What was the first big shirt that really got you going?
probably the authentic tee,
Yeah.
which people like. Not necessarily original. There's a lot of versions of authentic tees. There's a company that's called Authentic Clothing, but there's a number of companies that have a version of an authentic tee. It's a good print. So people like that a lot. The tees, the hoodies,
Yeah.
and also our classic logo, which is just Sober Strong on the chest. On the
I
back
hear.
is the rising phoenix that's embroidered,
Mm,
and that's embroidered on the hoodies, and Rachel has the tan one on, right?
yep. I do.
Yeah.
How'd you come up with this design?
So this is I love it too. This is a collaboration of different designs, if you will, right? Kind of pieced
Okay.
together. So I didn't have it drawn for me. I kind of put it together in the program, but um, it's a great design. A lot of people like it.
Yeah,
I
it
love
Yeah.
stands
it.
out. It's awesome. Whenever I'm like
Yeah,
showing people your website, they always like jump at this one.
Yeah. It's nice.
yeah, it's nice. And the next, oh, go ahead.
No, I like it too. I love
Rachel.
it. I love it.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
roses and
So
I
the
love the
next,
colors. So
yeah. So the next chapter is yours. Is one of the original lines that I came up with for the company alongside never above you, always, or yeah, never above you, always beside you.
mhm,
And I had to
love
put
that.
that on because it's like the next chapter of your life is yours. Like, and that's the whole
Mhm,
thing is for me and Sober Strong is taking back control of your fucking life. Like, which you can't see, in my opinion, when you're stuck in that poisonous cloud. You don't understand that you really don't have control. You just think you do. But if people look
exactly.
at the power drugs and alcohol have over you to make you do them or whatever it is you're going to do when they want it, right? If drugs and alcohol were a person, it's like you do what they want when they want without
Mhm,
question. Even if you don't want to do it, you still do it. And it's like you would never let a person disrespect you the way drugs and alcohol does, right?
right.
So
You
true.
would you would fucking level them. And
Yeah.
yet here we are in active addiction, letting drugs and alcohol determine what our day is going to be and what our life is going to be the foreseeable future. I know I did.
Yeah.
That whiskey bottle was on the counter and
Yeah.
there was enough of it to where I was sure I could drink myself into a coma. There was always enough of it for that. That's a
Yeah.
lot of power, right? That's a
Yeah.
lot of power
It
for a
owned us.
bottle of liquid.
Yeah.
So,
It owned us.
yeah, so it's like the next chapter is actually yours if you want it, but you have to take your life back. So, I like that. I like that I had to get that on some piece of clothing and I put it on this.
I love that.
So so Sober Strong starts. I'm like, if I'm gonna make all this clothing, and the clothing is of the highest quality that I could get. And that's almost available really in this line of clothing, like 100% jersey cotton, heavyweight,
Really
Yeah.
good.
cut and sewn for us, right? They're not pre-made blanks. They were cut from, the rolls of fabric were bought at market. They were cut and created from tech packs and templates, right? That I went over with our manufacturers. So the quality of the clothing, I had that checked off, right? I was comfortable with that. But now it's like, well, how am I going to sell it if I'm not selling it in person or like just through a DM or whatever? I'm like, well, I got
Yeah.
to get a website going. And it was the same thing. It was like researching tirelessly on how to make a website, and it's just exhausting, right? I'm not a tech person to begin with, but I'm like trying to
Yeah.
do it on my own. And
Using like GoDaddy or like
well, yeah,
Squarespace
I
or
got a
something.
domain. Yeah, I secured
Yeah.
a domain, and I'm like trying web design, and it's just not fucking
Oh my
working.
God.
Like I
Yeah.
can't get in. I don't understand it. And it's one of those things where it was, like, impossible for someone to help you, like, if we were on right now, and the point of
Yeah.
this call was, "You're gonna help me design a website," it's very difficult, even if somebody's trying to walk you through it, to
But you also
understand
have to
what
convey
exactly to
how you're
do.
imagining it, you know?
So I was like, all right, after, this whole thing took about a year to put together. So at this point, I'm like, all right, I'm tapping out. I need professional help. So I seek out
Yeah.
a company to design the website. It costs a shitload of money, but it fucking functions, without a hitch. And shout out Scriptable Solutions. I'll give them a plug. They know how to design website. They know it, they make it fast, and they are always there for me, like 24/7, right? They're operating it, and if
Hmm.
something goes wrong or there's an emergency, I know I can contact them and get a response. I'm like, fuck it, we gotta do it, like, make this website. And now I have all these clothes. I have a website. I'm getting boxes delivered in the middle of the night. It's winter now, to my house. It's getting insane, like in the spare bedroom. And I quickly realized, like, this is not going to work. Like, I have 1/30th of an order or of inventory, and I'm already out of room. So I'm like, all right, I got to get a storage space
Can't run
or
this out of the garage
somewhere.
forever.
Yeah, somewhere to start storing this stuff safely. So I move into a storage space, make it my shop, put tables in there. There's no lights, there's no electricity, there's no internet. But I would have somebody either sit in the parking lot or right and then collect the data, whatever was coming in, and then go in and fill it. Or there was a number of ways we did it so we could fulfill orders and print them and ship them, but it involved multiple locations. It was really a pain in the ass. But that's how we did it, right? That's where a lot of those videos are shot. They're shot in a indoor storage unit, and it's just a makeshift shop. Really, it's just like any other shop. I mean, it's in a metal building in a 10 by 30 container. So
Hey.
that's how we operated it, and until we just recently moved, and now I'm in what would be considered a large office space, but it has multiple rooms. It's double the size, more than double. It has heat and electric and internet, and I was like, it's time to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I
So
get it.
now we're in, and I love it, and it's all thanks to the support, right? We can't evolve the
Yep.
company without the help of all our supporters, right? And
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I look around Instagram when I first started this podcast, and I just remember I saw your name pop up on so many different profiles that I had
Yeah,
started following, and I'm like, "What is this Sober Strong
me
going
too.
on?" And then Rachel and I were talking, and she's like, we should really talk to him about working with him." And I was like, "Hell yeah!" Like, I
I
love it. I
actually
love the
wanted
clothes.
to. Yeah, I was
I've got
like,
people over here.
I was the
I've
same
got
way
people
though.
over here in Lewiston, Idaho,
You're in Idaho,
wearing a
I'm
bunch
in
of
South
Sober Strong.
Florida. And when I was first getting sober though, yeah, I saw Sober Strong and I was like, this is so fucking cool. I hope I become sober long enough to be a part of that, let alone here I am on a podcast. Like, so it's like, like
Yeah,
you even said, and you put it on a shirt, like, in my own words, though, you have to get tired of your own shit and you have to make it work whether you want to or not. Because if you want to get sober, it's going to take work and you have to fucking do something about it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You can't just say you want to do something and not do it. So
Just like starting
I
a
get it.
business.
Literally.
100% action behind intent. I'm big on that. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Big.
that's a
That
lot of
would be a
that
good
is,
shirt right there.
Yeah.
yeah,
Action.
a lot of that is anxiety driven, right? I have to do it because my subconscious is telling me I have to do it, and I have to do it like as soon as possible. So I use that in my favor, I guess. It's kind of torturous, really, but it works in your favor when you're trying to build something. And yeah, we did it. We went for it. It's in early recovery, especially in my opinion, we need something to grab onto.
Yeah.
I did. And what better, in my opinion, than to grab onto a community of people all looking for the same thing. And now we're not the first to exist, definitely not the first. There's a lot of companies like Pat Ridge, I think, has a company. Well, he has a number of things. There's ODAT. There's a number of. I'm right drawing a blank, right? Because I'm on video trying to think.
That's all good.
But there's a number of companies that existed before Sober Strong did that are doing it. But I wanted to come in and be loud as fuck about it because there's still people, even now, there was doubters before. There's always going to be
There's always
doubters,
haters.
haters, whatever.
Yep.
But there's still people today, even in the short time that we only launched April 18th. That's when there was no pre-promotion for this company. There was no socials that existed. On 4/18, we turned the switch on. The website went live, Instagram went live, TikTok, YouTube video, all of it.
Holy crap.
So
I didn't.
in this period of time, what we've created, the community we've created, there's still people saying, "Oh wow, this is such a niche, like, and this is going to be so difficult to get people behind because it's so specific and it's like there's 20 million or over 20 million people in recovery in the United States and growing because we have a huge fentanyl epidemic and there's other things
Yeah.
going on that are getting worse. So what is so fucking niche about it? That you're embarrassed to be out loud in your recovery? I don't judge you for that. I'm trying to fix it. That's
Well,
why I want to come in and build a community that's like, and I even say it, I said it on the Hopeaholics podcast, and I'll say it now. If you don't like it or you don't like us, go fuck yourself. We don't care.
well
You know
said.
what I mean? I don't
Yeah.
fucking care. Like,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
that's kind of like that hardcore music scene mentality
Hey,
that
that's the
I
attitude we should have.
that was a pivotal time for me. And that's kind of that punk grunge scene. It's like we are kind of the outcasts and we don't give a fuck, but we're all going to get together and look at us. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And that's
Yep.
what we're doing with Sober Strong.
Together, we're unstoppable, you know?
Yep.
So
Shout it
we're
from the
not, again, we're
rooftop.
not the first, right? We're not the
Yeah.
first, but we are pretty loud. We came in pretty loud, and I think we continue to be pretty loud. It's not for everyone, but everyone is welcome. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So even if you don't like it today, you're welcome to stick around and watch, right? And then you can jump in anytime you want and test it out. It's all good. Uh,
Yep.
but if you don't like it, it's not the place to come and practice trying out your online hate, because we're
Yeah.
a tight knit fucking community and we don't give a
Mm-hmm.
fuck about all that.
It's true.
I mean, we're too busy
So
trying to
true.
save people,
Yeah.
which brings me to the next thing I want to mention always is that we donate for we are not a non for profit, but we donate a portion of every purchase directly to recovery facilities. We give them money. It's that simple. It's action behind intent. It's no
Yep.
bullshit. And we tell you exactly where it went. And I do it in person if I can.
Awesome.
That's
And we just
awesome.
give them money to help people recover. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? There's no smoke and screens here, you know?
That right there
So
is a reason to support the company, honestly.
yeah,
100%.
that's how we operate. And we're going to continue to operate that. And the bigger we can get, the more we're going to donate. The long term goal is to get a massive facility, right? And start to hire people coming out of recovery facilities, giving them a safe place to start their lives over, a good
Love it.
Yeah.
paying job, and a cool place, right? Because you're not going into the idea will be you're not walking into a job that you don't really want. It's going to be an environment that's the same as you see on our social,
Yep.
you
Yeah.
know?
People being
It's going to be
themselves, being genuine, authentic,
right in
celebrating
a place,
recovery, you know, being yourself.
yeah, where you can continue to grab onto this recovery community, right? You're in a recovery facility and it's very focused and it's very regimented and there's support everywhere. And then you leave and then you right and you go into a halfway housing or whatever, or you finally get out on your own. And then it's like
Yeah.
all that support is fucking gone. Nobody gives a fuck anymore. They're like, take care of yourself. Don't fuck up
Yeah.
or you're going back to jail or whatever the case is. So hopefully we can give a place where it's like you can continue to roll on and build on what you just were in your recovery, in your halfway housing, in your whatever, right? You can work
Right.
here, be amongst this community and be confident that like you got this, you know, and you're
Yeah.
not just thrown back on the street. Nobody gives a fuck. You know what I mean? That's the
Yeah.
truth, right? Nobody cares. It's like everyone's got their own problems. So we're trying to
Yeah.
fix that. I'm trying to fix that. I'm not an expert in it, but I think it can be done and we're going to
Right.
fucking do it. Action behind it. So
Mm-hmm.
for anybody that listens, the clothing is so cheap. We actually operate at a negative right now. The company is not profitable, not even fucking close.
Mm-hmm.
That is because the prices are very inexpensive for what you're getting. I want people to have something to hold on to get, and we're trying to
Mm-hmm.
make it accessible. So, you know, the shirt Rachel has on right now is $17.99. I don't know anywhere where you're going to get that quality,
It's quality.
literal, like
It
the
is. It
weight
really
and
is.
the material for $17.99.
Yeah. I
Seventeen
was
ninety
so
You know
nine.
what I
shocked when I
mean?
had my order and I think I got a free shirt with it, but I was like, this shirt is so thick.
Yeah.
And I showed it to people and I was like, feel it.
Yeah. So we want people to be able to afford it. On
You're
top
gonna
of
have to
that,
put my org.
oh yeah, and your banner, right?
I need to
On
get
top of
myself a
that
banner.
very inexpensive shirt for what it is, you can also use, right? We have discount codes all over the internet.
Yeah.
We have a number of ambassadors. You
Rock
guys have,
bottom.
there's a number of people that have discount codes, so you can get a discount even on top of that. So yeah, that's a little bit of a pat on our back as a company. Like we we toot our own horn in that sense just a little bit because
As you should.
Yeah.
people aren't doing it. We are though. We are doing it. Like you can
You
go
are.
get a $17 or $20 shirt, but it's not going to be the it's not going to weigh the weight that these weigh. It's going to be filled with plastic or at least partially plastic. You know, that's 100% organic Jersey cotton. So, yeah, we want to promote the fact that we are trying to do right by this community, and we're going to continue to fucking do that as long as
Oh
we
yeah.
can. But we need the support, right? We need people to continue to help us so we can stay in business and do those things, and that takes people grabbing jerseys and fucking supporting, and people are, so it's a good
Yeah.
thing.
It seems like you
I
got a
don't
lot
know.
of good support around you. So it's awesome.
I've
I mean,
talked a
everywhere I
lot.
look. No, you're doing great, man. I just that you're on the
You
show
are.
so we could hear your story, and this is what I wanted to know more about is how it all started and where it's going. And
And
sounds like it's
Yeah.
going in a great direction, and especially with the part where you're planning on hiring people in recovery is
Yeah.
so cool. Love that. I love that.
That's beautiful.
there's so many huge, I appreciate it. There's so many huge companies who are either in this space or close to this space, but I see a gap. It's like you have really cool stuff. You're selling a lot, obviously. Just from an outside perspective, the companies seem to be very successful. But what are you fucking doing exactly
Right.
to help besides selling that pair of shorts, or you know what I
Right.
mean? And it's not for me to judge. It's not for me to judge someone's transparency. I do whatever you got to do. I guess the point is it's like that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to show
Yeah.
it's like exactly what we intend to do, and then when we do it, we're going to show you that we fucking did it.
Hell
You
yeah.
know? And I think that separates us from other people. I hope it does.
It does.
Yeah, no, it does. It does. The way you guys, yeah. I mean, from the shirts to how you represent yourself to the people that, endorse you and all around Instagram, it's like it does give a different level of energy than I've seen in any other brand
For sure.
online. So that's why I was,
For sure.
yeah,
I appreciate that. I appreciate
yeah.
you both. I love you
Appreciate,
both. You're awesome.
thank you. We appreciate you being on the show and also being one of our first big sponsors. And
Yeah.
we want to continue that relationship with you because we really love the brand.
Yeah, I everybody on Sober Strong's team and affiliates is gonna eat, right? As we grow, people are gonna be fed. Like everybody eats at this table, and that's how it's been my whole life. Like my
Yeah.
homies, like it was an open door policy. Like people sleeping in the attic, it didn't matter,
Take
you
care of
know.
your people.
Right,
Yeah.
and we're gonna continue that with this company. So again, I'm proud to support this podcast and you both. And as we grow, everybody's going to benefit. So I'm excited for that part too. Again, I like people being happy.
Yeah.
It
Same.
motivates me. So hell
Yeah.
yeah, let's fucking keep going strong.
Rock Bottom with Ryan. No bullshit, just recovery.